Last article for today is on the Brick Marketing website, and the title is AI SEO or GEO increases marketing ROI. This literally is what we're exactly talking about, right? And so it is very true. And I'll tell you, we're seeing this with clients, literally, that you're active, and in trade show marketing, and you're doing PR, and you have a good SEO presence, and you're investing in PPC, and it's like you're hitting all these channels, and it's like where do you give that ROI to, right? So like, is it the first point or the last point? In my mind, it's a blended attribution, personally. But unless, I don't think right now the technology exists. It just doesn't. Like, how can we track that, right? It's like we can't. We've always, by the way, back, when AI wasn't in play at all, we've always, for instance, we would have a client that would, have a big, have like a TV ad run. And then what would we do? We would ramp up their PPC for their branded search. Mm-hmm. So it would capture people that don't know what the website did. They just search for the brand, and they didn't want any competitors to come up that might be bidding on their brand. So then they're capturing people's info. So PPC technically captured the person in, but how'd they hear about the brand? From that TV ad, right? Unfortunately, in today's world, it's not that linear anymore. It's muddled, right? So in my mind, it's, I would say, just a blended approach. If AI didn't exist, my mind would be blended but less blended. If you know that, okay, we're doing a huge trade show and you're B2B and you're running retargeting ads during that trade show, and let's just say you're putting a series of social media posts at the same time using the hashtags. This is going back years ago, using hashtags, maybe, promoting it, maybe doing, joining a podcast or having an influencer help you promote that event. Then you could more or less know that it came from that event. The event and then all these other channels led to the capture. It's not like that now. So yeah. So, but I think it really is true though. Again, this just comes to those of you who are in charge of your marketing, in charge of, your companies. Now is the time to invest in AI search. And I know a lot of you are probably like, oh, we're going to try it on our own for a while. Try it on your own. But then when you see you're not getting the results that you should be, or you could be, work with companies like us. Or professionals in general that and the devil's advocate, because I've actually heard this from a few folks recently that said, oh, well, AI SEO is so new. How is anyone an expert? Let me tell you how anyone's an expert. How, for those of us that have been marketing for decades, we're experts at it. It's a different communications vehicle, right? So I don't know. Catherine, what do you think? John, I want to get your feedback, and then we'll call it for today.
This goes along with what we said and what we've been saying, that it's clear that AI is changing the funnel and mm-hmm. how people behave in the funnel. And it is definitely increasing the ROI. It's kind of amazing because, for example, we have a client whose leads used to come in, and it's they have a long sales cycle.
Right.
But AI appears to be cutting the sales cycle down, because their first phone call used to be, we're interested in this. What can you do for me?
Right.
Let's schedule a follow-on call. And now they're showing up on their first call saying, all right, we're ready to go. We're interested in this. We want to get things in motion. It went from discovery to, hi, we're ready. So the quality of the leads coming in has increased. We can't measure it, unfortunately, but we can measure the after effect.
Right.
We can measure what happens when the phone rings, and that is a measurable thing. And the only logical explanation is that AI is increasing this marketing ROI,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Yep. I agree. John, what do you think?
Yeah, and like we've said, with no tools, it's hard to really track it. Get raw numbers. You just can't right now. But like we've been saying for weeks, and since the beginning of the Brick Live podcast, is like the leads are warmer. Like that's just
Right.
how it is, and what we've been seeing ourselves. So whatever you're doing is having like an effect in AI, and people are finding your brand, and they're just warmer to it because, like I was saying in the last one, it's seen as a more organic finding of a brand, right? So I think that whatever you're doing, whether it's ad campaigns or whatever, that everything ends up funneling into this like AI ecosystem. It has more value now. It's all like within one larger thing rather than like little bubbles outside of each other.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. Great point.